Hello, my name is Adaminator, also known as Adam, and welcome to the Cozy Anime Review Podcast. And we are talking about Assassination Classroom, one of my all-time favourite shows. With it being my favourite, I have seen all near 50 episodes, and I am joined by the lovely Sola.
Bringing you into a galaxy far, far away. It's a hidden star of the night, Solaria! Hi everybody, I'm Solar, and I've watched the entirety of Assassination Classroom. It is also a longtime favorite of mine, and I'm totally not obvious about who two of my favorite characters are. The three.
Hang on, before we get into the show, I didn't realise you could introduce yourself like that. That really threw me off. We're going to keep it in, it's fine, but we're going to keep this bit in. But yeah, no, it just threw me off. But yeah, no, we're here to talk about Assassination Classroom. Naturally, we're not going to talk about any spoilers to begin with. We'll talk about the setup of the show. Essentially, Space Octopus comes down and wants to teach a class, with the only rule being that if he is teaching, the government and the students are allowed to try and kill him because the government doesn't want him around. And that's essentially the entire plot that you need to know going in. Kara-sensei...
You can't forget the part where the world is on the line.
Yeah, so Kara-sensei, as he's come to know, known as, he threatens to blow up the Earth because he blew up the moon. No, is it right? He blew up the moon.
He blew up the moon.
Oh, actually, that's a good point. Have you watched this subbed or dubbed?
I've watched this dubbed. I watched the entire series. I watched Assassination Classroom dubbed and Koro-sensei Quest dubbed because I watched the side series as well.
Okay, well, we won't talk about the side series, but yeah, no, I've watched this both subbed and dubbed, and you know, when it comes to most like dubbed anime, they tend to be a bit naff. This is one of the good ones. I think Kara-sensei is very well cast. A lot of the students are really good as well. I love Karma's voice actor in English. He's just such a smarmy bastard.
Austin Tyndall, you did my man well.
Yeah. And obviously Kaede and Nagase were really likable as well for English. Everyone else is generally quite good as well. The only English voice I'm not fully keen on is Karasuma.
No, understandable.
Karasuma, I think his voice was very good in Japanese. Not to say that it was bad in English. It's too dull. He's supposed to be a stoic guy, and it comes across as too stoic.
Man, I just saw him as that one guy who's just like dead inside 24/7.
Yeah. We've also got Yelovik, Irina.
My queen.
I love Irina.
What chance?
She's probably. We should actually address the elephant in the room. Like, there's a lot of people who won't watch this show because Irina is highly sexualized, which is, you know, a terrible trope that does happen in anime. But I would argue that Irina, while Irina is hypersexualized, she is the only one that is.
And at least it's an adult that's being hypersexualized and not a child.
Yeah, exactly. None of the kids are sexualized. Irina is, but even then, Irina is she's an assassin who uses her charm to get close to her targets. And they even delve into like the backstory. Like she had to learn how to do this when she was really young. She was like 12 when she took her first life, because it was her way to survive. Slight spoiler for Irina's backstory, but you know, it just sort of gives you an idea of what this woman's like. Are there any side characters that you like, Sola?
Okay, can I talk about a few of my favorites?
Sure.
So, they're all in the class, clearly. But first off, my favorite character is actually not from the main three. Granted, I love Nagisa, Kayano, and Karma, but
Okay.
Hinano is and will always be my favorite character from Assassination Classroom. You know the bug girlie?
Hinano.
Yeah. Hinano, yeah.
Yes, I know Hinano. she's
I
the
love
bug girl, isn't she?
Yeah, the bug girlie. I love her so much.
Yeah, she has
She
a great personality. Like all the students have their own distinct personalities. I would
is.
argue the only character who doesn't get much development in the show itself is probably Hara, Sumire Hara. She does get development in the manga, but very much it's very subdued. Like her only real thing is that she inhaled bread one time.
Inhaled bread.
Yeah. And like,
Okay, there.
go on.
Sorry, go ahead. No,
No,
go ahead.
go on.
I was gonna talk about Rio, my girlie,
Rio.
my baby.
Let me, because we got
Nakamura, the blonde girlie.
Oh, Nakamura. Yes.
Yes, I say Rio because I know of a lot of Nakamuras.
Just personally. Just
in anime.
Right.
Have you ever heard of Yuri Nakamura?
No. Anyway, yeah, no, she's the girl that's really good at English, right?
Yeah, that's my blonde girlie.
She's got a bit of a sadistic streak. She pairs really well with Karma.
Bro, they are the bestest of friends. You cannot convince me otherwise.
It's kind of weird because like there is a moment in the show where like typical anime, they do a test of courage thing, and Kara Sensei uses his time spent with the students to pair them together just to see if like they'll start dating, because Kara Sensei is weird like that. And I think he pairs Karma and Okuda?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because Okuda has a bit of a weird fascination with Karma.
Okuda's just baby. I love her.
Well, she's the chemicals girl, isn't she? She's the one.
Yeah, she's the chemicals girly.
So the way they introduce most of these characters is, they introduce them by giving them a unique way they're trying to kill the teacher. So the first one you see is Tomohito Sugino, who he's embedded these anti-sensei BB bullets into a baseball, and
love Sugino.
yeah, he's just trying to throw it, and because obviously it's a lot quieter than a gun. Problem is it's a lot slower, and Kara Sensei, instead of diminishing the kid because he's trying to kill him, like uses his super speed to fly all the way to America to manhandle one of the best baseball players, specifically to see if Sugino has the capability.
Yeah, it's just Sugino being a silly goose.
Yeah, but it's a nice way to introduce him. Like, you only really get half an episode where he's introduced, but like he's you remember him like throughout the entire episode. Same with
he's a memorable character.
Yeah, same with Kimura, the guy who's his name is Justice.
Yeah.
Where they do a whole episode where they call each other, they give each other nicknames. it's
another
very
memorable.
Go on.
Sorry. Another memorable character for me is Isegai.
Isegai.
He's the one that was working a job.
Oh yeah, he was the class ikemen as they call it.
Mhm. Also voiced by Jerry Jewell. So.
Yeah. I mean, we could sit here all day and just talk about great characters. Like for me, like I really like Takabayashi, mainly because his first line in the entire show is like 10 episodes in, and is talking about how he doesn't like 3D women. Like,
Speaking
that's how,
of,
and it's the same in the manga. So that is his first line in the manga as well.
speaking of 3D women, we could talk about a 2D being Ritsu.
Yeah, we should probably talk about 2D women. Ritsu, who is very much. Yeah, she's the AI girl who is very much.
Who's also, funnily enough, voiced by Hatsune Miku in Japanese. And I don't mean literally, I mean Miku's voice provider, Fujita Saki.
Really?
Yes!
That's awesome! I didn't know that. Yeah, there's probably...
A lot of Vocaloid voice providers actually do voice acting. Fujita Saki is one of those, and she's in quite a few shows, including Assassination Classroom as Ritsu. Another good example of this is Otomachi Una's voice provider. Hang on. I have to remember her name by looking up Umaru-chan. Tanaka Aimi. Tanaka Aimi is Otomachi Una's voice provider, and voices Umaru and Himoto Umaru-chan.
Oh, for God's sake.
In fact, for the broadcast. Hey.
Of all the fucking characters. Why does it have to be that gremlin?
I know a lot of things.
I don't want to be on that podcast episode.
I haven't even watched the show yet.
It's essentially like, you know the classic lifestyle of like sitting inside, watching TV and eating snacks. That's what Himaru does, just all the time.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about Gremlin Hamster Girl. We're here to talk about Assassination Classroom.
We're here to talk about teens trying to murder their teacher.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of students in here we can't talk about without going into spoilers. Like Kaede, Nagasa, Itona. Itona is a big example.
But one we can talk about is Kanzaki.
Kanzaki. Oh, I need to find out where they go. Yes, Kanzaki. Okay.
She's so pretty. I love her.
Yes, she's the popular girl
who's also voiced by the same voice actor of Himiko Toga.
I don't know who that is.
From My Hero Academia.
I still don't know who that is.
Okay, that's another issue we'll talk about at a later
date. We'll talk about it another time. I'm probably gonna get a scolding. Yeah, I like Kanzaki because she has a secret life, which is like, oh, she's in the bad life. Like she likes playing video games on the side. Oh, it's like, okay.
Honestly,
but it does lead into it does lead into the school trip they do. I mean, we can't really talk about their class without talking about the Big Five. So the reason they can get away with having a tentacle monster as their teacher is that the school they're from is very classist. So if you're a good student, you're in the main building. If you're not a good student, aka part of Class E, you're up in the mountain.
You want to try the entirety of Class E?
No, we'll talk about the rest of them later.
Because it's not because of their behavior; it's because of their grades. The only one that was over there.
Well, no, some of them is because of their behavior. So,
well, specifically one. I don't want to name names, but he's a redhead, and I love him to death, and he's totally not sitting on a pillow in my room.
Well, no. So, another one is actually Takabayashi. So Takabayashi is. In the manga, he's a kid from a family of doctors, and he's expected to be a doctor as well, but he's not got the grades to become a doctor, but his grades are still quite good. But because his grades aren't as good as everyone else, he's put in the sacrificial Class E. But his whole arc in the manga, which is completely missed over in the show, is that he manages to climb his way out of Class E. And then,
really?
Yeah, he manages to get out of Class E and goes to the main building. And when he sees the entirety of the class, the entirety of the school just talks so much crap about Class E, when he goes up to he's accepting an award. And by accepting this award, he's leaving Class E behind. And so what he does is when he goes up to accept this award, he uses his little dagger thing that he's been trying to kill Koro Sensei with and smashes the award, which sends him straight back into Class E. And that sets up another student because they did the exact same thing to specifically get into Class E. And we can't talk about them without going into spoilers.
Yeah. I'm looking through the character list, and I just found Okano, Hinata Okano, and I'm like, girl, he's voiced by Tanaka Minami? Hoshikawa Lady! That's me!
Oh, I don't know where they are. Are they in Class E? Oh yeah, no, yeah, they're the she's the gymnast
I sure
girl.
hope they're in Class E.
Yeah, she's the gymnast girl, isn't she?
I think so, yeah. But hang on, my MacBook decided to freeze.
Yeah, like the three students they don't really focus on during the actual show is Takabayashi, Hara, and I think it's Yara.
I love her. She's so cute.
One of them's really good at swimming, and they don't focus on her at all, which is, kind of depressing.
Can we talk about one of the best characters in the show, though, real quick?
Who?
The legend, the one and only, Kunadon. The nut.
Kunadon, I love Kunadon. It's such a stupid idea for a character.
Hang on. My personal favorite is when he's cussing out Class E.
Yeah, so for context that don't know, Kunadon is the mascot of the school, and he does these infomercials about how well the rest of the school is doing, and is just casually standing on Class E, like most times. But yeah, no, it's so well done. It's very it's the same with the professional assassins. Like, we can't go into some of them because of spoilers, but there's some who just have this great personality, like Lovro, who is Irina's mentor. You also have Red Eye. I like Red Eye. Just because he has this, he goes into photography. He quits being an assassin to become a photographer.
Okay. Can we also talk about the principal and his entitled son?
Yeah, I think we're now at the point where we could probably go into spoiler territory.
I hate them.
Let's make a clean break. So, for anyone that's leaving now, what would you say is your final thoughts on the show? Like, good, bad, recommend it? Sola.
Recommend always, but Asano is, I hate them. I hate them. But it does not help. It does not help that Asano is voiced by one of my favorite anime voice actors, Maika Solusad, who voices Soul in Soul Eater and Mizuki in Kami-sama Kiss.
Yeah, so
Mizuki, one of my favorites.
We highly recommend the show. I think you need a drink. Should I grab something from the vending machine? Should we get a drink for you?
Yes, please.
Yeah, no, well, let's get you chilled out before we talk about Asano.
It's okay. I'm watching Kunadon cuss out Class E. It's okay.
Okay. Is water good for you? I'm gonna get you water. Right. Right, let's talk about Asano. Asano is... Yeah, he's horrible. He's a horrible human being.
His dad ain't much better.
Yeah, no, I was on about the dad. But no, Gakshu, the actual kid, he does have a bit of redemption halfway through. The principal is very much like the big bad. Like, even to the end, like, even when he's come to terms with the fact that he's a bit of a shitty teacher, he's still manipulating the situation to get money. It's like, fuck you. But no, I like the Asados because they have a nice dynamic between them, but they do give a bit of an antagonistic feel, like a consistent antagonist feel, because you get some pretty horrible antagonists throughout the show.
Yeah, like the government.
Well, the worst of which being the teacher, Takoka.
Takoka?
Akira Takeoka. He is the PE teacher who takes over.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
He becomes the main villain of the first season because Nagase.
I forgot about that.
He straight up abuses the children. He starts training the kids the same way that he trained the privates in the army, by beating them mercilessly until they were submissive. And he's doing this to the kids as well. He's straight up assaulting the children, and that's when fucking Kurasama kicks in, comes in, like, you can't fucking do this. And then Akira ends up going like, okay, you know what? I'll have a 1v1 versus one of your best students. And it's Nagase is chosen, and Nagase is taught how to be an assassin. Not to be a fighter. He's taught how to be an assassin. And it turns out he's very good at it. To the point where Akira ends up basically breaking it and leaving. But he ends up being the main villain of the first season when he poisons half the children specifically so that he can have a rematch against Nagase.
I'm gonna be honest, I forgot about that dude.
How? He's
but
like the most fucked up character. Like, there's a lot of fucked up characters in this show, and he's the worst.
But now that you're talking about it, I remember exactly what you're talking about.
He was horrible.
And I'm just sitting here in disgust. I'm sitting here in disgust.
He was horrible. He poisoned half the children. He enlisted the help of 3 assassins specifically to bodyguard him, which is not their job. Their job is to kill people, not to protect people. I will say though that I like those 3 assassins because it sort of gives the students who are left over a chance to show off what they can do. Like, my favourite is Gastro, who is constantly sucking on his own gun.
What?
He's the guy that's like, he makes this fancy ramen bowl. He's like, oh, we add the leeks, add the togarashi, add the noodles, add a revolver.
Oh yeah, I know, I remember. Yeah. Sorry, I'm like zoning out here for a minute because I'm just like.
He uses his gun instead of chopsticks. You're like, I like this man. But they use him as a redemption for the 2 snipers of the group. 2 students who are really good at shooting. Oh god, who are the names? One of them doesn't have eyes. Chiba. And who's the other one? Who's the girl who's really good shot as well? Hayami? Is it Rinka? Is it Rinka Hayami?
It's Rinka, and Chiba and Hayami were always the snipers.
Yeah. So they messed up the main assassination against Kara-sensei. And they managed to get Kara-sensei into a position where he had to use a special ability specifically to not be killed. What?
What?
What the hell is that? Are you watching anime while we're talking about this?
I'm watching Kunadon clip.
I can hear it's that's gonna come through the recording. Oh my god.
Hello, Kunadon!
But they have this amazing redemption for the two sniper kids against Gastro. They don't shoot Gastro, of course, but they do use a real gun to take him out. Also, the whole thing, again, with Grip versus Karma is pretty good as well.
It's so iconic.
Grip
the
versus
wasabi.
Karma is so good.
The wasabi.
Well, I mean, that's just Karma being Karma, but like the actual fight itself.
Okay, but one chance. Anyways.
But yeah, anyway,
sorry.
That whole arc is fantastic.
If y'all can't tell who my favorite male character is
it
in No, it's Karma.
Oh, it's Karma. Okay.
13-year-old me was legit going insane over him.
We should probably talk about Turner, actually.
But Solar only was addicted to Karma because Solar had unrestricted internet access at the age of 13 during coronavirus.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, no, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Horibei, because he is essentially like the catalyst for learning what Kara Sensei actually is.
Yeah, Itada's honestly one of the most interesting characters.
Yeah,
other than Kara Sensei and his backstory, which I'm
alert,
not talking about.
Like, we're in the spoiler territory. Spoiler alert: Kara Sensei isn't an alien. He's a science experiment gone wrong.
Not.
He was a man who was captured and then turned into the tentacle monster. And the reason he's going to blow up the Earth is not because he wants to, it's because he's going to blow up anyway. But if he dies before the actual time, his cells will just sort of like dissipate and he won't actually blow up.
And it becomes the saddest scene in the entire anime.
It really is.
I cried over it at 2 a.m.
But the reason we learn about like the tentacles not being alien is through Horibei, because Horibei has the tentacles as well. And he calls himself Kara Sensei's brother, which is a bit weird. He reads the same pornography as Kara Sensei, which is a little bit weird.
Yeah,
there's like a whole bit where Kara Sensei is like eating cake, and Horibei's at the back of the class also eating the same cake.
Honestly, one of my favorite stupid Koro Sensei moments is when he's like talking about the bra sizes.
He doesn't do that.
I thought he did.
No, that was a fake Kara Sensei.
Oh!
It was lots of traps set up to make the students hate him, but the students realize this is too fucking obvious. It's clearly not Kara Sensei, because Karma comes in with a basketball that has a bra on it. It's like, that's too fucking obvious. These kids are smart.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was actually Koro Sensei that did that.
No. So he someone had put all the female students' bra sizes in the registry, and they pinned it on Kara Sensei specifically to draw him out, and that was in preparation for the final Horibei fight. He was set up by his handler Shiro. Shiro is a character. He is.
All of the characters are characters.
Put it this way. If Shiro didn't exist, we wouldn't get this show. He is the guy. He is the head scientist.
We're talking about Shiro.
Yeah, he is the head scientist who is the reason Koro Sensei is the way that he is.
Dear J. Michael Tatum, please get out of my favorite animes. Love your work, but please get out.
Do you not like him?
I do love J. Michael Tatum's work, but he's everywhere. He is everywhere. I have a trio of people who are everywhere. And there's a trio of voice actors for each gender that I find everywhere. This isn't a joke. So, let me explain. So you can't escape an anime without hearing the following: Kira Buckland, Christine Marie Cabanos, Bryce Pappenbrook, Monica Rial, Christina V nowadays. Then there's Todd Habercorn, and of course J. Michael Tatum.
Are all these people in the show?
J. Michael Tatum was Shiro.
Okay.
Um.
Sorry, the microphone just picked up on me chewing on ice.
Monica Rial is Kayano.
Okay. We should probably talk about Kayano, actually.
Yeah, we should. We should talk about my girlie and how she's... Can I talk about her?
Yeah, go for it.
She's
talk about Kayano.
So, fun fact, Kayano is one of my favorite characters, obviously, other than Ryo and Hinano and Nagisa. Nagisa is just a personal favorite. But Kayano, let's just say, don't believe the cutesy sweetie act.
Yeah.
Because, fun fact, Koro Sensei knew Kayano's sister.
Yeah, so, going back to Shiro a second. Shiro's wife was a woman called Aguri, Yukimura Aguri.
And she was Kayano's sister.
She's Kayano's sister, yeah. Shiro was a bastard. He also beat people. He beat Aguri, like Yukimura, a lot. And that's another reason to not like Shiro. But yeah, after Kara Sensei ends up escaping from the facility, he had this amazing relationship with Yukimura, because Yukimura was kind of like his hand, like Kara Sensei's handler. And when it came to Kara Sensei escaping the facility, Shiro ended up blowing the building up, which killed Aguri.
And now Kayano's out for revenge, and Kayano has her full revenge arc, and we love her for it.
Kaide saw Kara Sensei holding on to his sister's body and assumed that Kara Sensei was the one that killed him. So she implanted the tentacle gene into the back of her neck and held on to that pain for the entire show. Yeah.
She held on to it, she hit it so well, and then Season 2!
Well, so going back to Takabayashi again. So Takabayashi, you know how he smashed the thing in the manga?
Yeah.
That's how Kaide got into the Class E. So Kaide smashed the other one.
Oh!
So there were two statues. There were two awards. Kaide smashed the first one. Takabayashi smashed the second one.
I still remember that Class E was actually allowed on campus for an award ceremony, and they were always judged. But look at them now.
Yeah, but then it all culminates in a final fight where Kara Sensei ends up getting trapped in a big bubble, and
the bubble.
He ends up getting trapped in a bubble, which he physically cannot escape because it will just disintegrate him. And they're charging up an orbital laser, which will finish him off. And the students don't like this. They don't like this at all. So they end up escaping onto the mountain again to meet up with Kara Sensei. Kara Sensei ends up fighting Shiro again. Obviously wins, and he's completely worn out. And then we get into the final scene where all the students pin him down, and Nagisa is the one to finish off Koro Sensei.
But the painful part is the end. Koro Sensei's final attendance.
Oh, it's Stone. He goes through all the students' names, which it's a long time. There's 28 students? Yeah, there's 28 students, and he goes through every single one of them in order. Now, you remember the personalities of all of them, like all 28 students. You just love all of them, and
then it's just Sayonara.
It's just gone. Yeah. Don't be a weeb. Don't be a weeb. Don't ruin us. Just say goodbye. You're English.
Goodbye. Hang on. Let me get my Nagisa voice. Goodbye, Karma-sensei.
Oh, he does say that, doesn't he?
Yeah, I just said it in the Japanese version too. Because that's what Nagisa says. He goes, sayonara.
He does say sayonara, yeah. But it's weird when it comes out of an English voice.
Nagisa's one of those voices I just do really well because it's like a voice I just go straight into.
Oh, well, I would do the impression, but it's quite late. But I can do a fairly decent Kara-sensei.
You know what? I'd believe it.
I'm gonna do something on it. I could do the laugh. Hang on.
Oh man, are you sure you weren't his actual VA? I know who his actual VA was.
No, I mean I love Kara-sensei. Like but like obviously we're a part of the retranslated group and this project thing, and you see a lot of Assassination Classroom projects. I never get cast as Kara-sensei. I'm so upset. I'd love to do an Assassination Classroom project.
I would too. I would kill to voice Nagisa or Kaino because those are two voices I can do really well. Because Kaino's all the way up here. Because Monica's real voices I can do really well. So
that's the thing. She puts on that voice the entire time, isn't it? Her actual voice is a lot deeper.
Yeah, which is a shock because most of Monica Rial's voices are high pitched or kiddo, see you last week.
Oh, the frog girl. Like, yeah, okay, no.
Kiddo, see you last week.
Okay. Oh, we should probably end the podcast here.
Yeah. Well, this was absolutely fun because this means I got to be a geek about one of my favorite shows of all time.
We did. We got to geek out about a show that is, you know, I've been a massive fan of the show. I actually managed to get my friend into anime through this show. She loved it. I think her favorite character. Oh, let me go back to the list. I think her favorite character ended up being Kanzaki.
You know what? Understandable.
Yeah.
If I have ever had to show somebody in my family this show, I'd probably show it to my dad because I have gotten my dad to watch anime before. He is on we got onto season 4 of My Hero Academia. Yeah. Even though it's just a rewatch for me.
Yeah. No, I mean when it comes to the show, there's only really one episode that's a little awkward, and that's Irina's introduction.
Yeah.
They do make a bit of a weird joke in the English dub. Is it in the Japanese dub as well?
I don't know. All I know is that Irina and Karasuma have a very happy ending.
Yeah, that's. We should really talk about. We missed out loads. We've actually finished this entire. We've actually finished the podcast. We talked loads about different scenes, our favorite stuff, and there's still like half the show that we didn't talk about, like
the beach.
Well, yeah, the beach stuff. I mean, we sort of gone to it, but the actual beach assassin, the Reaper, like fucking spoiler alert, like Kara-sensei is the Reaper, but there's a copycat Reaper. We didn't get to talk about him. There were half the students we didn't talk about.
Karma's introduction episode.
Karma's introduction episode is amazing. Just go.
I love Karma Akabane.
It is
Karma Akabane is. I don't know if I can tell who one of my favorite characters.
Just if you're watching this podcast and you actually sat through the spoiler stuff, shame on you. You should have just gone and watched the show. But if you've seen the show, tell everyone about it. It is a fantastic show. Maybe not a good introductory anime. I'll always say that Angel Beats is probably the best one. But
agreed.
If you want a good comedy show, if you want a good drama, if you want a show that will make you cry, fucking tell people about this.
End of the show.
I did, yeah. No, can I ask final question, Sola? Did you cry?
Actually, I cried the second time I watched the death scene. I didn't cry the first time.
Not the first time?
I watched the death scene in both English and Japanese because I found it on YouTube and I cried the second time. That's how I was able to remember the Sayonara Koro Sensei is what made me cry and not the goodbye.
I'll tell you now. So I actually cried the first time I watched it, but I've gotten such a visceral connection to this show now. I cry every single time I hear the fourth OP.
The show that I know there's two shows that I know made me cry the first time round. Those two shows being Fruits Basket and Charlotte.
We'll probably have episodes on them in the future.
Oh yeah, and they're both being hosted by me. I don't care.
Don't say that right away. It might not happen. Anyway, that's another thing. We never even got to talk about the music, the OPs. The OPs were so good. There's 4 OPs and they're all amazing. Question. Let's end on this part. Let's end it.
Hang on, wait. Favorite opening?
The last one, OP4. Bye Bye Yesterday. Okay. I think it's Bye Bye Yesterday it's called.
That's Bye Bye Yesterday. Yeah. My favorites, I have 2 favorites. So my favorite from season 1 is the first one.
Yeah.
But my second favorite is from season 2 with Question.
Really? I that's not my favorite one. I put that.
I am a sucker for Question because I've listened to both the Japanese version and Amelie's English cover. And Amelie's English cover has a special place in my heart.
Fair enough. Yeah, we're going to end this podcast here and just go and listen to Assassination Classroom music. I've been a Dominator. That's been Solar.
Yippee!
We're going to leave this vending machine behind. Take care.
Yeah, back to the galaxy with me!
What?